bottle of Bordeaux. You couldn't afford it. The word sliced through the elegant hum of Lucille, Manhattan's crown jewel of fine dining, like a knife through silk. They came from the VIP table, where a man in an impeccably tailored Armani suit lounged with a smug grin, his voice dripping with condescension. To the elite patrons in that opulent hall, draped in crystal chandeliers that sparkled like captured stars and walls adorned with abstract art worth more than most people's homes, the young waitress was invisible. A mere shadow flitting through their world of caviar, vintage wines, and whispered deals that shaped empires. Her name was Anna Carter, but no one bothered to learn it. She was just the help, a faceless entity in a slightly wrinkled black uniform, her dark hair tied back in a no-nonsense ponytail that spoke of practicality over glamour. No makeup to hide behind, no jewelry to flaunt, just a quiet, unassuming beauty that didn't demand attention but earned it from those who truly looked. That night, as the soft jazz melody wove through the air scented with truffle oil and privilege, Anna moved with the grace of someone who had learned to navigate storms. But in 15 heart-pounding seconds, when 3 armed robbers shattered the illusion of safety by crashing through the gilded doors, the room plunged into chaos. Guests hit the floor in a frenzy of spilled champagne and muffled screams. Yet Anna stood tall, her composure unbreakable, like a lighthouse in a tempest. With movements honed by a past no one could have imagined, years in Navy Special Forces, she disarmed and subdued all 3 intruders. The billionaire at the corner table, James Colton, watched in stunned silence as the room's collective judgment unraveled, exposing the raw hypocrisy of the elite. Anna wasn't just a waitress, she was a force, and by dawn, her story would rewrite lives. Welcome to the Jones Life Stories, where we dive into the raw, unfiltered tales of everyday heroes who rise above the noise. If you've ever felt underestimated, overlooked, or judged by those who think they're above you, this one's for you. Stick around because Anna's journey isn't just a thriller, it's a reminder that your past doesn't define you, but your actions do. And hey, before we dive deeper, if this hooks you, smash that like button, share this with someone who needs a boost, and subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for more inspiring narratives that motivate and empower. Your support keeps these stories alive. Let's build this community together. Anna Carter was 25, with a face that felt oddly familiar, like a long-lost friend from a dream. Not the polished, airbrush perfection of magazine covers, but real. Freckles dusting her nose, deep hazel eyes that seemed to pierce through facades without effort. Her build was athletic yet subtle, hidden under the loose fit of her uniform, and she moved with deliberate purpose, every step measured, her hands steady even when balancing trays laden with fragile stemware that could shatter with a wrong tilt. Lucille wasn't just a restaurant. It was a fortress of exclusivity, where reservations were booked months in advance, and the menu featured dishes like foie gras tranche and wagyu beef flown in from Japan. The chandeliers above cast a warm, golden glow, illuminating faces of power brokers, celebrities, and heirs to fortunes. Laughter here wasn't genuine. It was performative, a symphony of clinking glasses and boastful anecdotes meant to affirm status. But Anna didn't belong in their eyes. Her scuffed black flats echoed softly on the marble floors, a stark contrast to the Louboutin heels clicking around her. She lacked the polish they demanded, the manicured nails, the designer accessories. Instead, she exuded restraint, a quiet dignity forged in fires they could never comprehend. Raised in a family that owned swaths of Manhattan real estate, Anna had been groomed for this world. Private schools, galas, summers in the Hamptons. But at 18, she rejected it all, enlisting in the Navy to escape the suffocating expectations. She craved purpose, not privilege. Special forces training broke her and rebuilt her. Endless drills in scorching deserts, covert ops in hostile territories where one mistake meant death. She learned to read rooms, anticipate threats, and act without hesitation. After an honorable discharge at 23, scarred by losses she buried deep, Anna sought simplicity, a modest apartment in Queens, anonymous shifts at Lucille. For 7 months, she'd endured the late nights, where tips flowed like wine but insults cut deeper. Her co-workers appreciated her reliability. No drama, no complaints. She cleared tables silently, nodded through rants, and shared tips without fanfare. It wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. Anna had faced real stakes. Firefights where bullets whizzed past, teammates lost to IEDs. These patrons with their petty jabs, not worth the energy. But that night, the atmosphere felt charged, like static before a storm. The VIP table was especially boisterous, their voices overpowering the jazz quartet in the corner. Anna glided through, tray balanced, face impassive, but her eyes cataloged everything. Exits, blind spots, potential weapons. The man who'd sneered about the Bordeaux was Richard Vance, mid-50s, slicked-back gray hair framing a face etched with years of boardroom battles. A hedge fund titan, he wielded his gold Rolex like a scepter, gesturing dramatically as he discussed market volatility with the flair of a showman. Beside him sat Candace, his wife, in a form-fitting red dress that screamed, "Look at me!" Her glossy lips curled in perpetual judgment. She was the queen of backhanded compliments, praising your outfit while implying it was thrift store fare. Across from them lounged Derek, a 30-something crypto entrepreneur with a perpetual tan from Miami getaways, and his girlfriend Lauren, whose blonde highlights and diamond studs reeked of newfound wealth. They were the epitome of entitlement, their laughter a weapon aimed at anyone beneath them. Anna approached with a fresh bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, its label gleaming under the lights. Richard inspected his glass with exaggerated scrutiny, pointing to a non-existent smudge. "You missed a spot," he drawled, his tone laced with mockery. "Guess they don't teach basic hygiene in whatever backwater town you slithered out of." The table erupted in laughter, Candace's high-pitched giggle piercing the air like shards of glass. Anna paused, her fingers lightly grazing the bottle's neck, then placed it down with a gentle clink. "I'll fetch a new glass," she replied evenly, her hazel eyes steady, betraying nothing. As she turned, Lauren leaned into Derek, her voice carrying deliberately, "No class at all. Bet she's never set foot in a place like this except to mop the floors." Anna's shoulders remained relaxed, her stride unbroken, but her knuckles whitened briefly on the tray's edge, a fleeting sign of the storm within. She pushed it down. Emotions were luxuries she couldn't afford. The manager, Greg, a wiry man in his 40s with a perpetual sweat sheen and a tie that always seemed too tight, intercepted her near the kitchen. His grip on her elbow was firm, his whisper harsh. "Steer clear of the Billionaire's table. He doesn't need you fumbling around." He nodded toward the corner where James Colton sat alone, exuding quiet authority. At 35, Colton was lean, with dark hair cropped short and eyes that missed nothing. His understated suit bespoke old money, and his phone screen glowed with emails that could move markets. Anna caught his brief glance, curious, appraising. She nodded to Greg. Understood. No argument, no explanation. She simply continued. Before the storm broke, there was a poignant pause. At the bar, refilling a pitcher, Anna's hand dipped into her apron pocket, pulling out a creased photo, a younger her in desert fatigues, flanked by comrades in a dusty Afghan courtyard, smiles defiant against the backdrop of war. The bartender, Mike, a burly guy in his 50s with a kind face scarred by life, noticed. "Family?" he asked, polishing a glass. Anna tucked it away, her expression neutral. "Something like that." Mike didn't pry. Anna's walls were fortress high. But not everyone respected boundaries. Jenna, the 22-year-old hostess with a sharp tongue and a penchant for flirting with VIPs, cornered her later. Twirling her hair, eyes glinting maliciously, she said loudly, "You know, Anna, smile more. You're killing the vibe. No one wants a gloomy server at their $500 meal." Nearby tables glanced over. Anna set the pitcher down deliberately. "I'm here to work, not entertain." Jenna smirked. "Yeah, well, maybe if you tried harder, you wouldn't look like you just escaped a homeless shelter." Snickers rippled from a couple at table 12. Anna's fingers tightened on the pitcher, a microsecond of strain, before she walked away. "Hey, pause for a second. Right here on the Jones Life Stories, let's make this interactive. If someone's ever judged you based on appearances, drop a comment below sharing your story. It could be that boss who overlooked you or a stranger who underestimated your strength. Hitting like and subscribe helps us reach more people with these motivational tales. Share this video to inspire someone today. Your action could change a life. All right, back to Anna's night, where the ordinary shattered into the extraordinary. The evening hummed on. the restaurant a bubble of arrogance and excess until the front doors exploded inward. 3 masked men in black charged in, boots thudding on marble, pistols gleaming under the lights. Everybody down. Wallets, jewelry, now, the leader bellowed, his voice gravelly from years of bad habits. Chaos erupted. Glasses shattered as patrons dove under tables, dresses and suits staining with spilled vintages. Richard yanked Candace down, his Rolex snagging the tablecloth. She yelped, clutching her Hermes bag. Derek knelt instantly, stammering, "Take it all, just don't shoot." Lauren's sobs smeared her makeup. Colton froze, fingers trembling as he removed his Patek Philippe watch. Anna, mid-room with a tray of empties, didn't flinch. She assessed, leader, stocky, scarred eyebrow, aggressive stance. Second, lanky, twitchy, poor grip. Third, calculated, knife holster visible. The leader zeroed in. On the floor. Gun to her chest. Guests whispered, "She's crazy." A woman nearby hissed. "Why isn't she complying?" The barrel pressed to her forehead. "Deaf? Kneel." As the tension peaked, a middle-aged woman in velvet clutched her husband's arm. "She's ruining everything for us." Her husband nodded. "She's nobody, going to get us killed." Richard hissed from cover, "Don't be stupid." Candace snapped, "You'll get us all shot." Derek muttered, "Moron." Lauren whimpered, "She's nothing, acting like she's special." The room's fear twisted into blame, every glare on Anna for defying the script. But Anna exhaled calmly, eyes locked. In a blur, she sidestepped, twisted his wrist, the gun clattered free. Her elbow cracked his jaw, he crumpled. Trace sat down gently, she faced the others. Gasps echoed. Tony, a young waiter, crawled out. "Anna, stop. You're worsening it." Guests agreed. Out of control. Anna ignored, focus laser sharp. Flashback. A dusty Afghan street, heat mirage shimmering. Anna, 20 in fatigues, tossed candy to a gap-toothed boy. Her sergeant barked. "Focus, Carter." That discipline searched now. The lanky robber charged. "Hero, bitch." Gun sloppy. Guests turned. Candace shrieked. "Getting us killed." Greg, "Stand down." Derek, insane. Lauren, "Nobody." A woman in gold. "Who does she think she is?" Her husband, reckless waitress. Anna ducked, kicked his gut. He smashed through glass. The third lunged with knife. "You're dead." She disarmed, slammed him down. 15 seconds. Silence. An older man pointed. "Dangerous. Not one of us." Whispers. "Plant. Criminal." Anna set the knife down slowly. Police arrived, cuffing the groaning men. A cop recognized. "Sergeant Carter?" "Navy Spec Ops. Saved my life in Kabul." Room stilled. Anna wanted normalcy. Faces shifted. Shock, shame. A trembling woman offered a napkin. "You dropped this." "Anna, thanks." Small kindness amid lingering jabs. Greg fired her, vigilante. Guests smirked. But Colton rose. "I see nerve. Head of security for my corp." Murmurs. "A bus boy. You saved us." Shift in air. Morning headlines. Waitress hero tapped by Billionaire. Footage viral. Vance's sneer backfired, clients fled. Candace's gala tanked. Derek's funding stalled. Lauren went dark. Anna's first boardroom day, deference. Aid apologized. Shifted power. Motivational interlude. On the Jones life stories, remember, judgment reflects them, not you. Rise above. Comment your triumphs, like /share/subscribe to fuel more stories. Expanding further, Anna's childhood in luxury, penthouse views but empty. Enlistment shock. Training hell. Mud crawls, sleep deprivation. Ops. Rescuing hostages, losing friends. PTSD whispers. Lyciola's escape. Robbery details. Adrenaline, muscle memory. Post-chaos. Interviews declined. New role. Overhauling security, training teams. Consequences deep. Vance's therapy for ego. Candace's isolation. Derek's pivot to humility. Colton's mentorship. Anna's reflection. Window view. Bracelet memory. Steady true. For you, you're resilient. Subscribe to the Jones life stories for motivation. Like, share, let's inspire.